some creative writing around it, and some artwork.
Darren, you were involved in all the archiving for this project. Tell me a little bit about all the work that was involved in that.
Well, there was the small task of going through 114 years worth of Ireland Saturday Night volumes in microfilm, which was a lot of editions. But it was a very rewarding experience. I was able to turn up little nuggets of things that were long since forgotten, because everybody knows the stories of people like George Best and Mary Peters and Barry McGuigan, but less people know events such as the first marathon to be held in Northern Ireland in 1907 between Belfast and Lurgan, a Belfast to Ballymena walk. These were events that attracted hundreds of competitors and thousands upon thousands of spectators.
And Darren, as you say, 114 years worth of editions of the Ireland Saturday Night to have to go through. How did you ever get to the stage where you knew what was going to be included and what wasn't?
Well, it was certainly a job, trying to work out what we would actually include and what we would throw out, because so much has happened in sport in Northern Ireland over that period.
And Darren, it must have filled you with a great sense of pride when you were going through and just hearing all those great stories of great sporting achievement.
Absolutely. We have plenty to be proud about, as so many great sportsmen and women throughout the years have come from this part of the world, and long may that continue.
Jim, you've been involved in the organisation for the All Our Saturdays exhibition. Just tell us a bit about what you've been doing.
Well, we've been trying to commemorate the sporting history and tradition of Northern Ireland, and tell that through the pages of the Ireland Saturday Night, which for many, many years was the Bible of Northern Ireland sport. It was the paper that people turned to on a Saturday night to find out what had gone on that day. I mean, this is before the days of internet and text messaging and teletext and immediacy, and we talk about the days when there were cinema queues in Belfast, and people used to buy their Ireland Saturday Night or queue up outside the shops on a Saturday night to get this. It was a Northern Ireland way of life. My first memories of the Ireland Saturday Night was from when I was a boy, my father bringing it home. He was a big Linfield supporter, and he would have brought the Ireland Saturday Night home on Saturday night, sort of tucked up into his pocket, and I would have read it avidly. They used to have a little feature tucked into the match reports when the goals came, and told you what time the goal was scored at and who scored it. And I think that's what got me into newspapers, because I had this absolute fascination with newspapers, and particularly the Ulster. And when I got a little bit older, we lived in Dromore in County Down, and I used to sell the Ireland Saturday Night around the pubs on Saturday night in Dromore. And you maybe went to the local newsagents, Jackie Reed's, and you got about 30 or 40 Ireland Saturday Nights. And this was the days that they were big broadsheet paper, and you took them around the pubs. And of course, at 7 o'clock, 7:30 on a Saturday night, there were always people who would give you a little tip for bringing the Ulster in with you. So you made yourself a bit of money, and then you could have went and had your sort of fish and chips and lemonade on the back of that. But
unbelievable memories going back for donkey's years. You can imagine it was the power leading the sport Saturday nights. Look at all the football going back to Malcolm Brodies. Malcolm Brodies says we look forward to that every Saturday night. Carried all the football, all the results, Irish results. Smashing it again.
I remember when I was playing in the Irish League, the first thing I did on a Saturday night was get the paper, and if you got a mention, you were made up. And particularly if you got a mention from Malcolm Brodie, the doyen, that meant something. And I think every footballer was the same, but there were features in it. It was basically football. It covered other sports, but the Saturday night was a must. And people in Ballymena, where I live, they were queuing up in the shops, waiting for it to arrive about 8 o'clock on a Saturday night. So that's how popular it was in my part of the world.